Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Shaunaka Uvacha Hatva Swariktaspruta Atatayino Yudhishthiro Dharmabhrutam Varishtaha Sahanujaif Pratyavaruddha Bhojanaha Katam Pravruttah Kimakarashitataha. Saunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaja Yudhishthira, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Suta Uvacha Vashyam Kuror Vamshadavagnirirhrutam samrohayitva bhavabhavano harihi niveshayitva nijarajya ishwaro yudhishtiram pritamana babhuvaha. Suta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaja Yudhishthira in his own kingdom and after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which had been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. Suta Goswami said, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaja Yudhishthira in his own kingdom and after restoring the Kuru dynasty, which has been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger. Nishamya Bhishmottamata Nishamya Bhishmottamatachutotam Pravritta Vijnana Vidhuta Vibramaha Shashasagamindra Ivajitashrayah Paridyupantamanujhanuvartitaha. Maharaja Yudhishthira, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Deva and Lord Sri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers. Kamam Vavarsha Parjanyaha Sarvakamadugha Mahi Sishichu Sma Vrajan Gavaha Payasodaswatir Mudha. During the reign of Maharaja Yudhishthira, the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to its fatty milk bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing grounds with milk. Nadyas samudra girayaha bhavanas parivirudhaha Savanas Nadyas Samudra Girayaha सवनस्परिवीरुधः फलन्त्योषधयः सर्वाः काममन्वृतु तस्य वै. The rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion. Nadhayo vyadhayah klesha daiva bhutatmahetavaha ajatashatrava bhavan jantunam ragni karhichit. Because of the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, diseases, or excessive heat or cold. Ushitva hasti napure masan katipayan harihi suhrudam cha vishokaya swasuscha parikamyaya. Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna, resided at Hastinapura for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister Subhadra. Amantrya chabhyanugnataha parishvajjabhivadyatam aruroharatam kaischit parishvaktobhivaditaha. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respects to Maharaja Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot. Samudra Draupadi Kunti Subhadra Draupadi Kunti Viratatanaja tatha Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamau Vrukodharascha Dhaumyascha Striyo Matsyasutadayah nasehite vimuhyanto viraham shangadhanvanah. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, Krupacharya, Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena, Dhaumya, and Satyavati all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna. Matsya Sutta is Satyavati. Okay, I was fumbling. Who is this? Okay. Satsangan mukta dussango hatum notsahate buddha kirtyamanam yasho yasya sakruda karnyarocanam tasmin yastadhiyah parthaha maheran niraham katam darshanasparshasam lapa shayanasana bhojanaihi. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees and have become freed from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they have been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. Sarve te nimishairakshaistamanudrutachetasah वीक्षन्तस्नेहसम्बद्धा विचेलुस्तत्र तत्रः. All their hearts were melting for him on the pot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking his eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. Nyarundan udgalad बाष्पम् औत्कण्ठ्याद्देवकीसुते निर्यात्यघायान्नो भद्रम् इति स्याद्बान्धवस्त्रियः. The female relatives, whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna, came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that tears could cause misfortune at the time of departure. Mrudangashankabheryascha veena-panava-gomukaha dunduryanaka-ghantadhya nedurdundubhayastatha. While the Lord was departing from the palace of Hastinapura, different types of drums like the mridanga, dola, nagra, dunduri, and dundubi, the flutes of different types, the veena, gomukha, and bheri, all sounded together to show him honor. Prasadashikararudaha kurunaryo didhakshaya vavrushuh kusumai krishnam prema vidasmite kshanaha. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on the top of the palace. Smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. Sitatapatram jagraha muktadama vibhushitam ratnadhandam gudakeshaha priyatamasyaha. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had the handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. Uddhavasatyakishchaiva vyajane paramadbhute vikiryamanas kusumai reje madhupatih pati. Uddhava and Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans, and the Lord, as the master of Madhu, seated on scattered flowers, commanding them along the road. Ashruyantashisha satyastatra tatra dvijeritaha nanurupascha nirgunasya gunatmanaha. It was being heard here and there that the benedictions being paid to Krishna were neither befitting nor unbefitting, because they were all for the Absolute, who was now playing the part of the human being. Anyonyamasit sam jalpa uttamashlokachetasam kauravendra sarvakshuti manoharaha. Absorbed in the thought of transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is sung in select poetry, the ladies on the roofs of all the houses of Hastinapura began to talk to him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Savaikilayam purushah puratano य एक आसीद विशेष आत्मनि अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगदात्मनीश्वरे निमीलितात्मन्निशि मुक्तशक्तिषु निमीलितात्मनिशि सुप्तशक्तिषु. They said, "Here he is, the original personality of Godhead, as we definitely remember him. He alone existed before the manifested creation of the modes of nature, and in him only, because he is the Supreme Lord, all living beings merge, as if sleeping at night, their energy suspended." Saeva bhuyo निजवीर्यचोदितां स्वजीवमायां प्रकृतिं सिसृक्षतीम् अनामरूपात्मनिरूपनामनि विधित्समानोऽनुससार शास्त्रकृत्. That the personality of Godhead, again desiring to give names and forms to his parts and parcels, the living entities, place them under the guidance of material nature. By his own potency, material nature is empowered to recreate. Sava ayam yat padamatra surayo jitendriya निर्जितमातरिश्वनः भक्त्युक्तकलितामलात्मना नन्वेषसत्वं परिमार्ष्टुमर्हति. Here is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by the dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and the senses, and that is the only way to purify existence. Sava ayam Sakyanurita satkato vedeshu guhyeshu cha guhyavadhibhihi yayeka isho jagadatmalilaya srujatyavatyatina tatra sajjate. Oh dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead, whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in confidential parts of Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. Yada hyadharmena tamodhiyo nrupa जीवन्ति तत्रैष हि सत्वतः किल दत्ते भगं सत्यमृतं यदां यशो भवाय रूपाणि Dadadyuge yuge. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power, the truth positive, shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. अहो अलम श्लाघ्यतमं यधोः कुला महो अलम पुण्यतमं मदोर्वनं यदेश पुंसामृषभः श्रियः पतिः स्वजन्मना चङ्क्रमणेन चाञ्चति. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Aho bhata swarya shamastilaskari kushastali punya yashaskari bhuvaha pashyanti nityam yadanugraheshitam smitaavalokam swapatim sma yat prajaha. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwaraka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwaraka are always seeing the soul of living being, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. Kushastali is also Dwaraka. Sanskrit word is Kushastali. Nunam vratasnana hrutadineshwaraha samarchito hyasya gruhita panibihi pibantiya savyagharamrutam muhur vrajasriya sammumuhuryadashayaha. O friends, just think of his wives, whose hands he has accepted, how they must have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifices, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe, to constantly relish how the nectar from his lips by kissing. To constantly relish now the nectar of his lips by kissing. The damsels of Vrajabhumi often faint just by expecting such favors. Ya virya shulkena hrutaha swayamvare pramatta chaudha pramukan hi shushminaha prayudma sambha pradyumna sambam pradyumna sambham banusadayopara yaschahruta bhaumavade sahasrashah. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Samba, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, and Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayamvara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings headed by Shishupala, and other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Bhaumasura and thousands of his assistants. All these ladies are glorious. Yetaf param strin tvamapastape shalam nirasta shaucham bhata sadhu kurvate yasam gruhat पुष्करलोचनः पतिर्न जात् न जात्व न जात्वपैत्याहृतिभिर्हृदि स्पृशन्. All these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. Their husband, the lotus eyed personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased their hearts by making valuable presentations. Yevam vida गन्धतीनां सगिरः पुरयोषितां निरीक्षणेनाभिनन्दन् सस्मितेन ययौ हरिः. While the ladies of the capital of Hastinapura were greeting him and talking in this way, the Lord, smiling, accepted their good greetings and casting the grace of his glance over them, he departed the city. Ajatashatruv prutanam gopitaya madudvishaha parebhyah shankitasnehat prayuktam chaturanginim. Maharaja Yudhishthira, although no one's enemy, engaged 4 divisions of defense, horse, elephant, chariot and army to accompany Lord Krishna, the enemy of the Asuras, demons. The Maharaja did this because of the enemy. The Maharaja did this because of the enemy and also out of affection for the Lord. Ata duragatan shaurihi kauravan virahaturan samnivartya dhrudam snigdhan prayat swanagarim priyaihi. Out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, who were the Kuru dynasty, accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwaraka with his dear companions. Kuru Jangala Panchalan Shurasenan Sayamunan Brahmavartam Kurukshetram Satyan Kurukshetram Matstyan Saraswatanatha Marudhanvamatikramya Shauvirabhirayoh Paran Anartan Bhargavopagashan Chantravaho Managvibuhu. O Shaunaka, the Lord then proceeded towards Kuru Jangala, Panchala, Surasena, the land on the bank of the river Yamuna, Brahmavarta, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Saraswata, the province of the desert and the land of scanty water. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Sauvira and Abhira provinces. Then, west of these, reached Dwaraka at last. Tatra tatraha tatratyair harif pratyudyatarhanaha sayam bheje disham paschad gavishto gam gatastada. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped and given various presentations. In the evening, in all the places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. Thus ends the chapter. Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.